lesson 3. Alright, in this lesson this week, we're going to take a look at something called guitar riffs. Now, guitar riffs are little segments or little sections taken out of guitar, sort of a whole song. And they're like little things that are repeated over and over and over. So you can think of it as a theme that's played primarily in the song. Sometimes it's in the solo, sometimes it's in the bulk of the song, the sort of main tune. That's what a guitar riff is. Now we're going to look at these guitar riffs. We're not going to learn the whole songs. We're just going to take a look at that sort of iconic theme out of that song. So we're going to do 5 of them this week. We're going to do Smoke on the Water, that's the first one. And we're going to take a look at some Rolling Stones and some Marilyn Manson. And we're just going to choose a few and we're going to learn them. So you don't have to learn the whole song, you're just going to learn little parts. And the reason why we do this is it brings our technical ability up. They're also very recognizable, so they're easy to play by ear. We're going to look at them at the tab and then we can also do a little bit by ear. So your technical level will come up and you'll learn a little bit of something cool and you'll be just sort of part of the guitar community. Because a lot of the times we learn little bits and pieces from certain aspects of songs and things like that. And this just helps us in our general guitar playing. It's also very cool when you can sort of play one of the popular sort of stuff. So that's what we're going to look at this lesson, guitar riffs. So let's get straight to it. Smoke on the Water. Right, that's the first one we're going to do, the first guitar riff. So let's take a look at the tab straight away. What we've got on our tab is we've got it broken down into 4 sections. So we'll look at each section separately and then together. And it's very basic. The entire thing is done on the middle 2 strings. So on your G string and on your D string. Those 2. And we're just going to use our 2 fingers, our first and our second. And we're going to play like that together. And the first thing they're asking us to do is play the 0 and the 0 together. So these middle 2 strings without any fingers, that's the first part. We're then going to take our first finger and on the middle 2 strings, we're going to move up to the 3rd fret. And this finger is going to play both of those notes. So it's going to play this one and this one. So don't use the tip of your finger. Let your finger relax over and let your finger touch both of these strings just behind the fret and push nice and tight. And we pick them together like that. So it's open, middle 2 strings. Then we're going to the 3rd fret and we're pushing both of those. Keep this finger straight like that. And you get 2 sounds out of that. And then the next thing we do is we move up to the 5th fret. And we play those 2 middle 2 strings. Like that. So that's the first part of the riff. Zeros. Then the 3rd fret, middle 2 strings. And then 5th fret. And that's going to look and sound like this. Part of it. Alright, as easy as that. So stop the video and practice that first little part of the riff, the 0, 3, 5. Use your finger to bar off. This is called a bar. It's not a full bar, it's not a half bar yet. We're practicing this concept called a bar, which is where we bar across the strings with our finger. So, first finger nice and tight, and it's pushing down 2 strings at once. Right, let's play that again a couple times. So your finger hovers over 3 and you play the 0s, the middle 2, then the 3 and the 3, and then the 5 and the 5. And you can recognize that straight away. Perfect. Alright, on to the second part of the riff. And let's get straight to that. It is 0 again. middle 2 strings, then the 3 again, and now we're going to go 6 and 6, and straight to 5. So those two go together. 6, 5. So open. 3 and 3. 6, 5. 0, 3, 6, 5. Alright, so again, stop the video. We're going through this quite quick because you've got the video and you can watch it over and over and over and over. So we're doing the little sections fairly quickly. Please stop the video and practice that over and over and over and over until you have it. But it's very basic. It's the middle 2 strings. We're playing on that the whole way through. So let's do those first 2 riffs together very slowly. So once you've practiced those 2 separately, rejoin over here and we're going to do it together. First part of the riff, 0, 3, 5. Second part, 0, 3, 6, 5. Right, I'm going to play that a couple of times for you for reference. We do it again. 0, 3, 5. 0, 3, 6, 5. Again. Okay, and we're almost there. The third section is the same as the first, 0, 3, 5, so let's do that. You can stop the video and practice those 2 sections together. Once you're comfortable and you're happy with that, rejoin the video for the third section. And the third section is exactly the same as the first, 0, 3, 5. Stop the video, practice those 3 sections together. Well, independently and then together. Alright, and once you've done that, rejoin the video and this is what it's going to look like, those 3 sections together. I'm just going to play it a number of times for you for a reference. Alright, again. One more time. Alright, those are the 3 sections together. So the last section we're going to look at now. So stop the video and practice those 3 sections together until you've got that. Then rejoin back at this point of the video. The last part is very easy. It's the 3 and the 3, and then open. One more time. 3, open. Alright, so what you need to do now is you need to stop the video and practice those little sections on their own. So you practice it. Don't worry too much about trying to get it accurate and trying to get it neat and tidy. You'll know the song by ear, so you're going to sort of try and bring your technical ability up quite quickly by wanting to play that familiar sound. So the dun dun dun. It's a very specific tune, so your ear will recognize it and you'll force your fingers to move so that you can play what your ear hears. Alright, so stop the video, practice them all together, and practice them separately, then all together, and practice it over and over and over. And once you've done that, you can rejoin the video here, and we're going to play that same riff over and over and over, and then you'll get to a point after sort of a number of hours of practicing where we'll be able to play that together. Alright, so this is the whole riff for Smoke on the Water. we have it. That is Smoke on the Water. That is the riff from Smoke on the Water. So now it's going to take quite some time to get that nice and comfortable and get it feel right and to sound right. So just keep practicing it over and over and over. There's only 4 small little easy sections. The hardest part probably about that is keeping your finger flat and straight and pushing nice and tight, and then sort of syncing up and getting that sort of timing and that rhythm right. And I'm doing it primarily by ear because I want you to be able to develop that. I want you to be able to hear something and be able to play it. Right, it's another valuable tool when you're learning to play the guitar or any musical instruments, be able to play something by ear. Alright, so that is Smoke on the Water, the main guitar riff. Practice that loads, and then once you're sort of happy with that, once you can kind of play it, move on to the next one. Don't hang on until it's perfect, because it takes a while to get it really nice and sounding great. So practice Smoke on the Water, move on to the next one, learn all 5 riffs, and then you can spend time sort of over the month getting them really good. And that's basically how to play Smoke on the Water. Seven Nation Army. Right, this is our second riff that we're going to learn. It's going to look and sound like this. Alright, that's that main sort of iconic part of Seven Nation Army by the White Stripes. So we're going to look at that very slowly. We're going to look at 2 parts of it. So let's go straight to that tab. First thing you see there is the 7. These 2 notes are the same. E, that's also an E. So if you want to know if you're in the right place, they should sound the same. That's where you are, and you'll have a dot on your guitar as well. So 7, that's the first thing they're asking us to play, and you can just use your thumb throughout. That's the first part. Then what you're going to do is you're going to skip 2 frets, and you're going to go straight up to that 10. You can try and use your pinky for now. Otherwise you can use your 3rd finger. But it would be better if you use your pinky and you keep that where it is. So we're going to be playing the first note 7. Then it's going to go 7, 10, 7, 5. 7, 10, 7, 5. So you have to do a little shift. 7, 10, 7, 5. And it's going to sound like this. So you play those together. Alright, so from the beginning, 7, then you play those 4 notes together. There they are. So again, 7, 7, 10, 7, 5. Now this takes a bit of time, a bit of practice getting used to this. It's going to feel like that's incredibly difficult and incredibly fast. It's not that fast, it's not that difficult either. If it's the first time you're playing all the way up here on your guitar, kind of on these thicker strings, so it'll feel a bit odd at first, but that'll go away quite quickly. Now instead of going, which a lot of people would prefer to do, your hand has to move a little bit uneconomically to play that. So that's why we're going to use our pinky and we can get it ready there. And that's why you practice your exercises so that they can stretch and this finger can stretch here nicely. So taking it nice and slow. 7, then 7, 10, 7, 5. Then the last part we're going to play it down 3. And you let it ring with that little line, that means let it ring. And and then down to 2, let it ring. 7, 7, 10, 7, 5, straight to 3, let it ring, and 2, let it ring. That whole thing's going to look and sound like this. Alright, so what you have to do is you have to go through your tab very slowly. So stop the video and practice moving your fingers to the right place. Once you've got them and you can practice going from the 7 to the 10 and you can move them around, you just, with time, it'll speed up on its own. And as that tune is familiar, it'll force your hands to move a bit quicker because you want to fulfill that sound, you want to get to that tune. So it forces you to play the riff at the right sort of speed and the right sort of timing because you're trying to match up what you heard with what you're playing. So stop the video and practice those notes nice and slowly and then rejoin when you feel a little bit comfortable. So take your time, it won't happen very quickly. You've got to get to that stretch. So you can practice just moving to that. Alright, and then there's only one other little part to the song, which is the second part. So once you practice that, rejoin the video and we're going to do over the last part. Right, so having a look at the tab, we see the 7 again. That's 7. And then we play the same thing for the beginning part of it. 7, 7, 10, 7, 5. That part's the same. Seven, 7, 10, 7, 5. Now the next part is going to go 3, 5, 3. And you play those notes together. So back up to the 7, 7, 7, 10, 7, 5, 3, 5, 3, and then straight to your 2. Alright, so that is quite a lot. It's quite a lot of movement, so break it down nice and slowly, starting in at the 7. 7, 7, 10, 7, 5. Then go down to the 3. 3, 5, 3. And then down to your 2. And let that ring a bit. Alright, so now that might feel a bit fast and a bit difficult. Stop the video, practice that on its own. And what you'll do is once you get comfortable with those certain parts, then you can rejoin and you can start trying to get the sound of it and start trying to play exactly how it's supposed to sound. It's going to look and sound like this, that second part. So in the first one we just went 3, 2 at the end. Now we're going 3, 5, 3, 2. So, second part of the guitar riff. 7, 7, 10, 7, and then 5. So, 7, 7, 7, 10, 7, 5, 3, 5, 3, 2, and let that ring. It's going to look and sound like this. Alright, a lot to do quite quickly there. So take your time, stop the video and just practice those two sections over and over and over, independently and then together. And then it's going to, once you put it all together, it's going to sound like this. So practice those and then rejoin the video and just keep going over the video over and over and over. Make sure you have your tab and make sure you're playing the different parts and practicing moving your fingers, because that's the hardest part, is moving your fingers around and getting it in tune with the sort of sound of the riff. So practice it nice and slowly over and over and over and over, and then rejoin the video and use this as reference as to what it should sound like. And this won't be quick. Although it's very simple, there's a bit of a tune that you have to get, so that takes time. Alright, so once you've done everything over and over and over 1,000 times, Then rejoin the video, and the two sections together is going to sound like this. I'm just going to play it a number of times. And once you've got to that point where you can play it comfortably, then you can try and play along with me, and that should take you about a week. If you get to it before a week, then you're doing very, very well. Alright, here they are, those two sections together. There we have it. That is the bulk of White Stripes. That's the main riff of the song. You'll notice as well as I did a little hammer on. If you didn't notice it, that's fine. If you did notice it, then you should be able to recognize where I play it, and you can try it for yourself. It's not important. So if you picked up on that, it's an extra bonus. You can play that hammer on. It was on the 3 and the 5. Alright, so stop the video, go over the tab very slowly. It's not going to happen overnight. You need to practice it a lot. You're very new to this concept of playing riffs and getting these sort of themes and playing them. So give it a lot of time. It deserves a lot of time. Practice the first section slowly on its own, moving your fingers where you need to, and then practice the second section on its own. There's a little bit more to do. And then once you're happy with them individually, practice them together. And then once you've played that over and over and over, listen to the song and get that stuck in your head, and then rejoin the video and play along with me as best you can. And that is basically how to play Seven Nation Army. Sweet Dreams by Marilyn Manson. Right, before we tackle this riff, we're going to learn something called a power chord. We're going to do the very basics of it. We learn a lot more about power chords later on in the term, but we do need to know a little bit about that in order to play this riff successfully and not to feel completely overwhelmed. So the first section we're going to do is we're just going to look at something called a power chord. Okay, a power chord. You're going to take your first finger and you're going to put it on your second string at the 3rd fret, like that. Right, then what you're going to do is you're going to take your pinky, and on your 4th thickest string, you're going to put it at the 5th fret. So there's a gap in between here. 3, 4, 5. That's where you want to be. 3 and 5 with a gap, as well as on these two strings. Now you can do a power chord anywhere. Absolutely anywhere, and you can also do it on your top string, like that. But we're learning it for the use of this song. So 3rd fret and 5th fret. Take your hands away. First finger, the 3rd fret, 1 string down. Pinky on the 5th fret, 2 strings down, so on your 4th thickest. That is a power chord. They're quite tricky, so you have to develop a lot of strength in this hand, and you've got to be able to get your hand a lot more sort of nimble. You've got to be able to stretch your fingers. So, 3rd fret, and then on your 5th fret with your pinky, over here. 3 and 5, gap in between, on your 2nd thickest and on your 3rd thickest string. That is the first power chord we learned. Then we're going to do the same, but we're going to do it on the thickest string. The first one we're going to do is up at number 4, the 4th fret. Then we're going to take our pinky, and on the 2nd thickest string, we're going to leave a gap, and we're going to play that 6, 4 and 6. There's always a gap in between here. So on the thickest string at the 4th fret, and on the 2nd thickest string at the 6th fret. That is our second power chord, and you take that away. First finger, top string 4, pinky, second thickest string at 6, and you keep moving your hands away and bring them back on. And don't forget to push nice and tight to practice these things. Push these fingers down hard and take them away. Now your fingers might not even stretch that far in the beginning. Don't worry about it, you can physically put your finger there. Push it down if you need to, and just develop a bit of strength in these hands. So the 4th fret and the 6th fret, top string, second thickest string. And the 3rd power chord we need to learn, you're going to take this whole shape and slide it down to the 3rd fret. So you've got 3rd and 5th on your thickest string with your first finger at the 3rd fret, and then with your pinky on the 5th fret, one string down from that. So there's a gap in the middle and they're on 2 different strings. Thickest, second thickest. Push nice and tight. It's only those 2 notes we're playing. Alright, so let's recap over those 3 power chords. On your second thickest string at the 3rd fret with your first finger. Then on the next string down, your 3rd thickest at the 5th fret. Gap in between. Push those nice and tight. See if you can get a sound out of that. It takes a lot of time and practice. You're then going to lift your fingers off gently, move them up a string, both of them, and across. 4th fret, 6th fret, 2 different strings, gap in between. 4 and 6. You then take this whole shape and you slide it back down. 3rd fret, 5th fret. Then you're sliding it back down to a string. 3rd fret on your second thickest, pinky on your 5th fret, gap in between, on your 3rd thickest string, 5, 3 and 5. Then gently go up and across to 4 and 6. You then slide them down, 3 and 4. Now you have a look at your tab and it's showing you them as well. It's showing you that at the 3rd fret on your second thickest and your 5th fret on your 3rd thickest, showing you 3 and 5, and you're playing those together. You then go up to your thickest string and you go to the 4th fret and the 6th fret on your next thickest string. Gap in between, push nice and tight. You then take this whole shape and you're going 3 and 5. 3rd fret, thickest string, 5th fret, second thickest string, together. Like that. Alright, so what you need to do in order to play this next guitar riff is you need to give this lots of practice. Practice putting your fingers on in that shape. It's only 2 fingers, your first finger and your pinky. And you practice stretching them, you practice moving them, you practice putting it on nice and tight. You try and play a little bit of that chord and you try and get it sounding. It takes a while. These aren't easy. So before you tackle the song and the riff, Sweet Dreams, you're going to practice these chords. There's 3 of them. 3rd fret, 4th fret, 3rd fret on the 2 different strings. Practice that over and over and over and over and over. Once you've done that and you can kind of get some sounds out of it, then we can tackle the tab. It may even take you a week, and that's fine. As long as it takes, that's what you need to give yourself. Alright, so now we're going to have a look at Sweet Dreams. First section of the 2 starts off with our power chord at the 3rd fret and at the 5th fret with our pinky. And what they're asking us to do is to pick the 3 twice, and then we're going to play this 5 and then back to the 3. So 3, 3, 5, 3. We then take this finger and move it across to the 6 and we play the 6-3. Then back down to the 5-3. Right, so very slowly we go through that tab with our power chord and we're moving this pinky finger around. 3rd fret on your 2nd thickest, pinky on your 5th fret on your 3rd thickest with that gap in between. You play the 2 3s. You're then going to go 5-3. You then shift this across. You can even use your finger for now, push nice and tight, and go 6-3. You then push it back, and you go to 5-3. Alright, so stop the video and practice that on its own for a little bit, and then rejoin the video. You're playing the power chord at the 3rd fret and the 5th fret, and you're just picking through that tab nice and slowly. Right, once you've done that, then we rejoin at the 2nd part of this riff. You're going to go to the 4th fret and your 6th fret. You play another power chord, the 2nd one we learned. 4th on the top, 6 on your 2nd thickest string, so you've got the gap in the middle. Now what you're going to do is you're going to play 2 4s, so you play the thickest string twice. Now you can relax that, and we're going to play this 6, and we're going to slide it to 8. Right, so going back, 4th fret, 6th fret on 2 strings. We're going to play that twice, as the tab asks us to. 4, 4. Keep the pressure here. Play your 6 and slide it to 8. Let's try that one more time. 4th fret, pinky goes up to the 6th fret, there's a gap. Thickest, 2nd thickest, you hold it nice and tight. Ask us to play the 4 and 4. Then we're going to play 6 and slide it up to 8. Alright, so stop the video there and practice that a little bit. Over and over and over and over and over. It's going to take lots of practice. Once you're happy with that, you can rejoin the video and do the last little part of this riff. So now we're going to the 3rd fret with our first finger, and our pinky is going to the 5th fret, 1 string down from there. Our last power chord, 5 and 3. No, 3 and 5, sorry, 3 and 5. They ask us to play the 3, 3, then our 5 to 6, that's another slide. So back to 3 and 5, top string, 2nd thickest string, we play the 3 twice. The 5 we play, and we slide to get that extra note. One more time. 3 and 5, that's our power chord. We play the 3 twice. We then play the 5, and we slide it to 6. Alright, so stop the video and practice that section as well. So you've got 3 little sections that you need to play in order to play this riff. Practice them individually on their own over and over and over until they become easier, and then add them all together. At this point you still won't particularly hear the riff because you're just practicing moving your fingers. Once you've practiced it and it's getting a lot more comfortable and they fit together naturally, you'll start hearing the riff, and then you'll start being able to play it and recognize it. That may take a week, may take a month, it doesn't matter. You just keep practicing, keep practicing, keep practicing. These power chords are a little bit trickier for now, so you need that lots of time. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to play that whole riff all the way through a number of times very slowly. So only once you've practiced it extensively, rejoin the video and try and play along. Alright, and here is Sweet Dreams, the whole thing through. after say a month of playing. Alright, and that is how you play Sweet Dreams. As I said, you're going to need to practice each little section over and over and over and over and over 1,000 times, and then join them together, and then just practice them as an exercise in power chords, and practicing your slides and stretching and moving, and then with time, as you put them together and as you read through your tab, make sure you've always got your tab there, it'll start connecting the little dots. And then with more time it gets faster and faster and faster, and before you even know it, you're playing it. Alright, so give that lots of time, give that lots of practice. These power chords are new, and just keep practicing over and over. And that's basically how to play Sweet Dreams. Painted Black by the Rolling Stones. Right, this is very recognizable. I'm going to play it for you, and then we're going to break it down. This is what it sounds like. Alright, and that is Painted Black. So we're going to do this riff by looking at a tab, and we're going to just play, we're going to break the tab into two little sections to practice, and then we're just going to start at the beginning of the tab, work our way all the way through, and just loop and keep playing that tab. Alright, so to play this we need to be able to alternate pick our thinnest with our middle finger and the thumb on your thickest. Now it's almost going to do that all the way through, except we're going to go once onto your second thinnest string. Alright, so we're going to do that very slowly. Starting at the beginning of the tab, it's asking us to play our thinnest string as an open. We then have to play our thickest open. First finger on the second fret, then open. Third fret, open. Then with our pinky we're going to stretch up to 5, we play 5, open, back down to 3, open, 2, open, and then open thinnest, open thinnest again. Alright, and that's the first part of the riff that we're going to look at. Let's go over those notes again. Starting on your thinnest string, then your thickest, both open. Second fret, open. Third fret, open. Fifth fret, open. Third fret, open. Second fret, open. Open, open, and open, open. Alright, and that is the first part of the riff that we're going to look at. Right at the moment we're just looking at where the notes are. All we need to do is speed that up, and we'll be playing Painted Black. So for now, just stop the video, practice those notes, and practice getting that alternate picking. Once you've done that, you can play that fairly smoothly, then rejoin the video and we'll do the last part of it. Right, the second part of it is starting on your second thinnest string at the 4th fret. Now this on its own doesn't sound that good, but in context of the song, it sounds great. So they're asking us to play the second thinnest at the 4th fret, so let's do that. Then open, then open on your thinnest, open again, second fret, and then open, and then they're asking us to play an open, and there's a little line. That little line underneath it is a tie note. You just let it ring a little bit longer, basically. So this, you just let it ring a little bit longer, then you play your open again, and then you're on to 4 on your second thinnest, and you're also letting that ring a little bit longer, and then this last 0. Right, let's look at those notes again. 4th fret, second thinnest string, then open, open on your thinnest, 2nd fret, open, let that 0 ring, open, 4, let it ring, and then open. Now this last open, this is the very last note we play in the riff. That, as soon as we play that, it's actually leading us straight back to the beginning of the sort of riff. So as soon as you've done this last note, we'll be playing straight away onto your next sort of cycle so that we can keep that riff going. Alright, so basically you've got 2 little sections that you need to practice. At the moment, don't stress about what it sounds like. You just want to get your fingers used to where to play on the guitar and get them comfortable. So you just view it as an exercise. You're playing a note and then you're playing your open. And you're alternating all the way through. Little tied lines, the little lines underneath, just let that ring a little bit longer. Alright, and you can count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and just to get your timing right. And then when it comes to those tied notes, it's going to be a 1 and 2 and then you're going to carry on playing. But don't worry about that right now. So stop the video, practice those 2 sections. I'm going to play that all the way through now, nice and slowly. So once you're done, come back to the video, and this is what it's going to look and sound like very slowly. Alright, starting with the first section. Alright, I'm going to do that again, all the way through, and I'm going to play a little bit quicker this time. Alright, and that's what it's going to sound like as you speed it up. So as you speed it up, it starts sounding exactly like it's supposed to. This is a sort of variation of the song. It's the same sort of notes and the same riff, and we're kind of just learning that for solo guitar playing. So practice each section, and then do them individually, learn where all the notes are, and then just slowly practice it over and over from start to finish. And with time, all on its own, it's going to start speeding up. And the minute it starts speeding up a little bit, and you start feeling a little bit more, sort of like you're playing a bit more rushed, then you're going to hear it. And as soon as you can get it right up to its normal tempo, then you're basically playing it. So you can think of it as an exercise, and you're just picking away, and you're practicing your alternate picking. And then eventually, at some point, it's going to be the song. So yeah, practice that nice and slowly, go through each section, and then try and play along and follow along with me. And that is basically how to play Painted Black by the Rolling Stones. Redemption Song, Bob Marley. Right, we're going to learn just that very first little opening riff for Redemption Song. The rest of the song we can actually learn as well. It's just a whole bunch of chords and some strumming, but we'll look at that a little bit later on. So for now, part of the riffs is Redemption Song. Let's have a look at those notes. Right, we've got a tab, and this is what it's going to look and sound like. get straight to that. We're just going to play it through as a tab, and I'm going to break it down and go very slowly through it, all the way through from start to finish, and then we're going to sort of speed it up and practice it like we did with all the other riffs. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to show you is you're going to hold a G, a normal G chord, that first sort of little chord we started with, and you're going to take this finger off. So that basically we're going to be playing that G. And the first thing we do is we play our thickest string at the 3rd fret. It's already there. Good. Then, leaving that finger there, we play the next string, and you can use your thumb for this if you want. And this is going to go 0, 2. So you're going 3, and then back to the 3. So 3, 0, 2, and you play that fairly quickly, and back to the 3. So, and that's what you want to get. One more time. 3, 0, 2, 3. So what you're doing is you're going 3, 0, 2, and back to that 3. And you can use any fingers you want for now. Right, then we're playing this note again. It's already there. So we're going. As soon as we've played that note, we can take this away and we put it next to it to that E minor. And we're playing that 2nd fret on your 3rd thickest. Right, so right from the beginning, 3, 0, 2, 3, 2, and then this 2, open, and back to here. Alright, that's the first little bit. That's what it's going to look and sound like. Into the G, then we go into the E minor basically, 2, 2, then open on that D string and back to 2. So G to the E minor. One more time. That's the G, then to E minor. Alright, so I'm kind of playing that, I'm not explaining too much because I want you to look at the tab and I want you to read the tab and I want you to be able to sort of recognize the riff from that. But you're going from a G to an E minor basically. So the G, you play the first 4 notes, the E minor, you play the second 4 notes. That's the first sort of half of it. And so stop the video and practice that very slowly. Go through your tab and just play the G, the 4 notes, the E minor, the 4 notes, and practice that over and over, and then rejoin. And it's going to sound like that, like this, the first part. One more time. And then we're going to go straight on to our second part. And the second part is very similar. We're going 3, 0, 2 on the next string. And then instead of coming back down to this G, we're going to this D, which is your third thickest. So it's going. So your thumb's just moving down if you're using your thumb. more time. 3, 0, 2 on your next string, and then 0 on the next string. And then, last little bit, last 4 notes, we're going to play 0 on your second thickest, 3, 2, 0. And you're going to play it fairly quickly. 0, 3, 2, 0. 0, 3, 2, 0. And then ending on that G again. 0, 3, 2, 0, 3. That's what it's going to look and sound like. Alright, so again from that first part, the 3, the 0, 2 on your next string, then the D, that's your third thickest, and then 0, 3, 2, 0, 3. Again, 3, 0, 2, D, your third string, 0, 3, 2, 0, 3. Now you're going to practice those notes and you're going to try and figure out and you can get your fingers moving around a little bit. That's the most important part. The tune we can slowly develop and we can get to it, but as a beginner you need to start moving your fingers around and you need to start playing these sort of tunes. So stop the video, practice the first little section, then practice the second little section on its own, nice and slowly, separate them out, get comfortable with those notes. And once you get comfortable with those notes, then you can add the 2 sections together and you can kind of play that opening riff. So I'm going to play it now. So once you've practiced that, I'm going to play this a couple times over so that you've got reference and you can just watch and slowly learn to follow along and get the tune stuck in your head as well. Alright, so this is Redemption Song all the way through, the main riff. And that is how you're going to sort of practice and you're going to get to that point. Now in your notes, in your tab, split them up into 4 little sort of bars as it were, 4 little pieces, 2 sections. You've got the first section, the second section, and they're divided again. So the first one will be the G, then your E minor, and then back to your G. So go through them very slowly. Do 4 notes, then the next 4 notes, then practice that over, then the second section, do 4 notes, and then the other notes. And the other notes is actually 5 because you're playing a bit quicker. So go through it very slowly, those 4 little sections. And with enough time, they'll slowly start making sense. Your fingers will be able to move. It's quite a lot to digest. So I've worked through this quite quickly on purpose because I want to sort of force you into playing and learning a little bit and using a bit of initiative. So practice it nice and slowly. Go through all the parts. Then join back the video wherever you need to be in the video and just go through it slowly. You can watch the video over and over and over and over, so it makes it a lot more useful. Practice with your notes, practice with the video, go through it nice and slow, and then rejoin in that last part where I play it all the way through. It's difficult to sort of sync up and play exactly along with me, but you'll be able to sort of kind of follow along with me, stop the video, play it. Follow along, stop the video, play it. And then you'll kind of get it on your own eventually. It takes a lot of time, a lot of practice. That's basically how to play the opening riff for Redemption Song by Marley. was lesson 3, term 2, all about guitar riffs. Now, the important ingredients to getting this right are a few things. You need to listen to the original songs, and you need to sort of get the tune, the riff, stuck in your head. It's the best way. Once you've kind of got very familiar with that tune, then you're going to go through each of the riffs separately, break them down into little sizable chunks that you can swallow, and just do them very slowly. Learn where the notes are. That's the important part. Just learn where your fingers need to go on the guitar, and then practice those notes very slowly. And then keep stopping the videos, keep watching them, keep going over and over. Do them little bits by little bits, learn where all the notes are, and slowly it'll just take care of itself. If it's stuck in your head, it's going to want to come out on the guitar. Now, you might think it's not the greatest way to learn to play the guitar. It's very important, especially when it comes to improvising and all that sort of stuff. You want to be able to play with a bit of feel, and you want to be able to play from your ear as well. So it's very important that you practice this and give it lots of time. Give it loads and loads of time. And slowly you'll just sort of develop, and with a bit of time and practice, you'll get those riffs spot on. So that is basically it. Thanks for watching this lesson, and we'll see you in lesson number 4.